with Moody last night taking over. You watched that Washington game last night with Andrews taking over. These are guys that you're gonna see. You're gonna see teams that have a player. Providence has done, and Bentonville, but teams that have someone that can take over a game and get hot for a week. You know what I mean? We've seen it many and many times before. That's what I look for when I'm looking into maybe a future on an underdog. So look at that. The Dodgers 2-0. I said to myself, whoever I have on the show each day, I'm betting that team. I did it yesterday and lost. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it today. Dodgers are up 2-0. Can someone give me a score on the Miami Marlins St. Louis game, please? Either way. So that's that as far as college basketball. But there's some hints. And over the weekend, after tomorrow, we're going to get into college basketball a lot with the two podcasts. We get a lot of, we're doing baseball a lot during these, but we're going to focus on conference tournaments over the weekend. We're going to focus on what to do with some futures as far as the tournament. So big shows coming up there. And we'll do it again the following weekend, obviously, with the Selection Sunday and everything coming up. I'm going to have a special after Sunday night. I'm going to do a show after the Selection Sunday. I was going to ask Jeff to see if he wanted to do it, but either way. Now let's get over to hockey. Big slate today. A lot of games going on. I got a couple client plays I'm looking at. I got the Rangers at Pittsburgh. We're going to skip over that one. We got the Blackhawks and the Boston Bruins. We're going to skip over that one. We can talk freely about the rest. I'm going to go right down the list. So if you were thinking about a game, I'm probably going to cover it. Edmonton going into Philly. Let's face it. Philly should probably get it done, considering Edmonton on the road 8-20 overall. However, against the East, they're 5-8. This isn't a slam dunk. Edmonton has won 2 in a row. Their second game of the road trip. Philly has won 3 in a row, 4 out of 5. I get it. 165, I'm all set with that one. Calgary going into Buffalo. Calgary team that defense is just completely dismantled, but they've done pretty well against this Buffalo team. But they can't get it done. The defense is horrible. They've allowed 2 or more goals in like every game, period. But fortunately for them, they face Buffalo tonight, a team that's been shut out in 2 out of the last 4 games. But defense is playing well. A lot of low-scoring games there. However, I would stay away from playing the under in any type of Calgary games. Next one, Minnesota-Toronto. Minnesota huge favorites tonight on the road. This one opened at like 165 up to 220, I believe. Obviously, you get the backup going in for Toronto. They played last night. Minnesota back on the winning ways after 2 wins at home. However, they did lose 3 in a row before that. They had a nice winning streak going. Toronto just can't catch a break. I mean, they lose 3-2 in a good effort against Washington. But now they got a quick turnaround. They got Minnesota coming in. Minnesota, huge favorite. If you're going to play them, put them in a parlay. As far as trends for this game, a lot of unders. Every game these guys played since 2011 has gone under. That's about 7 games. But again, I'd be careful with that. The way I probably angle this, and again, I think that I'm not positive about this, that the Toronto team total under 2.5, the juice on that's pretty high. If it's over 160, I wouldn't bother. I would just put Minnesota money line in a parlay. Next one. And this is one that I've bet, and I've been battling with it all day, because I think they can get got in this one, but I'm not ready to jump off the bandwagon quite yet. And I keep talking about these guys every time they play. Ever since a couple weeks ago, back in that day game against Pittsburgh, the coach got on them to get physical. They've got physical. They haven't lost yet. Talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning going into Ottawa, laying 150 today. Big price, right? Against a team that the last time they played about 3 weeks ago beat them 5-1 pretty handily in Ottawa. They beat them back in April as well. The last 2 times they went out there, they lost. Ottawa comes in. They had a little winning streak going. They lost at Vancouver. Then they just lost at home to St. Louis 4-3. This Ottawa team is putting up a ton of goals lately. Ton. And they're allowing a lot, but they've scored 3 or more in their last 6 games. So the scoring is definitely there with them. And Tampa Bay, though, on the other hand, they're playing really well. Another team that can score, but their defense has been outstanding through this run. Now, mind you, it's been against Toronto, Boston, New Jersey, Arizona, Carolina, only one of which is a playoff team. And you go further back, the one against Pittsburgh and Winnipeg. So 2 out of these 7 wins have been against playoff teams. However, Ottawa right on the cusp about getting in. I don't think they're in. No Canadian team, if the season ended right now, no Canadian team would make the playoffs. Imagine that. But here, I'm going to say Tampa Bay with caution. How about that? I'm going to say Tampa Bay with caution. On the chat box, sorry. John Jensen, Cards lead 4-3, top of the 8th. Great. Seattle 0-0. Thanks. Can barely hear you, dude. Well, why don't you turn the volume up? Listen, this is Jeff for you, right? Sound's been bad the whole time, right? So that means you've been listening, and when I asked about the sound, you didn't want to answer. I get it. But yeah, so that's that on that little reverb, sorry. Hopefully that's better there. Yeah, so it's full volume. What's full volume? I don't know what you're talking about. No, this is full volume, and I don't want to be that loud. Either way, turn the volume up. I don't know what to tell you. Now you got me out of my groove. New Jersey goes into Nashville. Total's at 5 here. The under, big juice on that. Nashville also minus 210, guys. 210 on this one. Huge trends towards the under, though. Let's go back and check this because I'm not 100% positive. Maybe sometimes it's worth laying the 145. I will say this as I go investigate this. I know in the last 10 times these guys played, it's only got under 5. It's only been under 5 once in the last 10. What did I just do? Yeah, let me see something. Oh, I did 5. That's why. I wanted to go back 20 games here and see when there's one. Yeah, so in their last 10, since 2009, only one has gone under. Nashville have been playing very good defense, and we know New Jersey, great goaltender, great defense, not a great offense whatsoever, as we know. They scored 2 goals in their last 3 games. And you look over at Nashville, in 4 of their last 5, they've allowed 1, 2, 1, and 0. I would say maybe take a shot with the New Jersey team total if you can get it at 1.5 and plus money. Otherwise, the under 5 in this game is a really good spot, in my opinion, to maybe add in a parlay with what we were talking about earlier. That's what I would say with that. But hey, what can you do? Keep it there, yeah. Alright. No, the full volume was on our side earlier, but now it's much better. Oh, alright. Yes. The thing is, when I plug in my headset, I have to change it back, but I can't hear it, obviously. That's why I ask you guys where it's at. Couple more games to go over in the NHL here. Let's see. And for those guys, I don't know who knows. Obviously, unless if you're a client, you don't know. But when it comes to hockey, I do know what I'm talking about. We've been doing very well in hockey. We actually have a much better winning percentage in hockey than even college basketball. It's been the surprise of the season for me so far. I don't expect to hit it close to 65% over 100 plays in NHL. I don't expect that. I don't care who. You can listen to whoever you want. You don't know how hard it is. Let me explain something to you, how hard it is to move once you get 100 games, right? Say you're at 62% through 100 games, right? So you'd be, 62 and 38. Say you want to move that 62 to 67, right? So you want to go 62 to 67. You have to go 40-0 to move 40 percentage points. Not even kidding you. It's a ridiculous amount if you do the math. It really is. It's not to that extreme, but it's pretty close. If you want to get up near 70% and you're at 60-something% through 100 plays. So anybody that tells you that they're at 70% long term or even 60 above 65%. It's complete 100% utter bullshit. It doesn't happen. If they were doing that, they wouldn't be on Twitter. They'd be ruling a country somewhere. It just doesn't happen that way. So beware of that. If you're new to this, don't let anyone tell you that. Now, maybe they can hit 70% short term, sure. But if someone bullshits you and tells you that they're hitting 67% they won at 67% through 1,000 plays, I find that 99.9% bullshit. A couple more games and we'll wrap it up here. New York Islanders, Winnipeg Jets. Not a big interest in this one. The Isles played well as of late, won 4 of 5. Winnipeg, complete reversal there. The one thing to look at here is the amount of goals that Winnipeg has been letting up. Their defense has been god awful lately. But the Islanders, you can't count on the Islanders to go on the road and score 3 goals for you for a team total or anything like that. In fact, it's almost just the opposite. Their defense is playing very well, and they're not really scoring. So there is some trends towards the over in the past with these guys, but at 5.5, even at 5, I wouldn't even touch it. I'd stay far away from that game. A couple more. Florida at Colorado. This is a tough one. Colorado, was making a run there for a while. They've sort of let up again. Defense struggling. The overs have been pretty good with Colorado as of late. And Florida, on the other hand, you sort of know what you're going to get out of Florida. They're going to let up less than 3 goals, and they're going to score right around 3 goals a game. They're going to win 2-1, they're going to lose 2-1. They're going to win 3-2, they're going to lose 3-2. That's just what it is. If you can make a live bet on this game that the final score of this game is going to be 3-2, I'd probably take that one. Not a live bet, but some sort of prop bet. I'd probably do that. And one of my buddies brought to my attention, same thing with Washington. I swear, if you can bet a Washington game 3-2 final, do it. And I know live betting on 5 dimes off it, but I'm telling you, it's crazy. More than 50% of their games they end at 3-2, and the payouts on those are like plus 1,000. But that's just fucking around stuff anyway. Anaheim going into Arizona, second game of a back-to-back. I know a lot of people think this could be a trap spot for an Anaheim team that's won straight 9 in a row. 9 in a row, John Jensen, if I'm not mistaken. John, how many times have we been on Anaheim in those 9 games? I'll give you a hint. 9. 9 straight client plays with Anaheim. 9 straight winners. The Marlins lost. Of course they did. What's up? Jeff, what's Jeff saying? Gamble Lou's going on his show at 5:30 to talk a little fighting. So check that out at 5:30. So to wrap it up, again, Anaheim going in to Arizona. People think it might be a trap spot, let down, but Anaheim's on a fucking roll. I don't care. Second game of a back-to-back. Arizona, first game back off a road trip. Let me explain something to you, and I want to dig into this game because I haven't dug into it quite as much as I want to yet, right? So I can tell you this will be the last game I go over. So if you want to check out now, check out now. If you want to check in and listen to see if we can find something on this game, be my guest. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Let's take a look at Arizona when they come back off a road trip this year, meaning, a decent road trip, not 2 games, 3 games, especially East Coast. First time, first game back, loser. They lose 4-3. Here's one. They come back. They actually beat Anaheim in that spot, 4-2. They actually beat Minnesota, 4-3. See, they beat Nashville on their first game back. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, and that will do it. So pretty damn successful on that. Now we want to look at Anaheim. Now Anaheim's been a tale of 2 seasons for them, as we know. They started off real slow, and all they've done is won about 18 of the last 20 games. That's all. How do they do on the second night of a back-to-back? We'll start with most recent and then moving further away, because again, it's just sort of that. At Calgary, then at Edmonton the next night, they win 5-3. At Pittsburgh, and then at Philadelphia the next night, they win 4-1. And that was the 4th game in 5 nights too. At LA, then at home versus Arizona, they win 5-2. A lot of goals being scored in these second games, if you guys haven't noticed already, and a lot of wins All right, at Edmonton, and then at Vancouver the second night. They lose